What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So the NBA season kicks off on Tuesday, October 22nd, kicking off a new NBA season. Now, if you are subscribed to the channel, you have probably seen that we were originally going to post 30 short videos previewing each NBA team, going over their roster, what they lost, a key stat for them, and what the predicted record from us for them was going to be this season. We posted, I think, about 5 of them, recorded them. I feel like it wasn't the best way to go about it, though. I felt like, because they were all going to be short videos, I felt like that could have been better for a TikTok or a YouTube short. So I made all the graphics for them, so we'll definitely get some use out of them here, especially at the beginning of the season. But I felt like this was the better route to go. We're just going to do a video talking about the standing predictions for the Western Conference, the Eastern Conference, and then also bundle it with my playoff predictions through the play-in, first, second, conference finals, NBA finals as well. So that's all going to be here. We're just going to jump into that as well. But before we do that, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down there for more NBA content throughout the season. The season is just tipping off. We'll have a lot of NBA content here on the channel throughout the season. Bunch of other stuff there too as well. So make sure to hit that subscribe button down there. So let's just start it out. Obviously, we got the graphic on the screen here. So you see the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. But we're going to focus on the Western Conference first. First place, I think it's going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder, 61-21. Still a really young core. Obviously, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will, assuming, probably be in the MVP conversation again. And then getting even deeper with adding Alex Caruso this offseason, I think is a clear upgrade from Josh Getty. So I think they're going to have a really good record, winning over 60 games. Got them at 61-21. In second, I have the Dallas Mavericks, 52-30. Obviously, the big offseason acquisition, adding Klay Thompson. As a Warrior fan, it obviously will never not be weird seeing Klay in another jersey that's not a Warriors jersey, but I think they're going to have a really good regular season. I think that was a incredible pickup for them. I mean, Luka, Kyrie just going to be create everything. Klay is going to start hitting his shots. Don't take the preseason or any struggles from last year. He's happy now. He's not saying he wasn't happy in Golden State, but I think a change of scenery was good for him. It's going to fall for him. It's going to go well. I think the Mavericks are going to have a good regular season. I got them at 52-30. In third, the Warriors. I got them at 51-31. Now, before you say, oh, Scott, you're just a Homer Warrior fan. Listen, when I originally made this list, I made it about a week or so ago. I had the Warriors at 6. And listen, I know you're not supposed to take much from preseason. I'm not taking this because you can't judge preseason off, oh, this team went 6-0, this team went 0-6. They're going to have you can't do that. It's the preseason. The reason I moved the Warriors up from 6 to 3 was not the 6-0 record. It wasn't all that. And yes, all the stereotypes are of, Kendrick releasing an album, last time the Warriors went undefeated in the preseason, won a championship, all that stuff. Like, yes, that's cool. And I let, that's fun, banter on, Twitter or in conversations. But really, I moved them up and moved their record up because of the substance that we saw on the floor. I mean, obviously, yes, you have Steph Curry, who is going to be, he's a top 5 player of all time, going to be in the MVP conversation, control everything. Draymond Green is going to be Draymond Green, one of the best defenders of all time, going to create everything for you. But the guys they added, Draymond even said it in the preseason media availability, that the additions they made this offseason reminded him of the 2022 additions. The Nima Bjelica, the Gary Payton, the Otto Porter Jr. I mean, these were all vets that came in and helped that 2022 team go. And really, I mean, going into the year, like, yes, as a fan, you think and you hope they're going to do, but I mean, no one really, even internally they've said this, no one expected them in 2022 to go and win that title. And it was really those vets coming in, I mean, getting off to that incredible start. I'll never forget Otto Porter Jr. on Christmas Day in Phoenix. That was incredible. The guys that the Warriors added this offseason, in DeAnthony Melton, in Buddy Hield, in Kyle Anderson. I mean, these are guys that I think are going to come in, make a huge difference right away. With, obviously, a lot of this does, require, I call the young 4, and Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Brandon Pajemski, and Trayce Jackson-Davis. It requires them to take that step. We've seen really good things from JK making a step. He needs to go a little bit more. As I talked about in the Warriors preview, that is up on the channel. I'll keep that up there. He needs to be a 22, 24 a night scorer, somewhere in that range. Brandon Podziemski needs to play how he was playing last year, too. He's going to be shooting a lot more threes and creating a lot more for this Warriors team as well. Trace Jackson-Davis seems like he's in line to possibly start at center. Moses Moody just signed a contract extension. Seems like he's going to be getting more run. Obviously, really good 3-and-D player. Just haven't seen him a lot on the court. So it's the substance. Adding those veteran guys that I think will help right away throughout the season in the playoffs. That's why I have them at 3, 51-31. Next up, the Los Angeles Lakers, 50-32. I mean, I think JJ Redick has just brought a completely new look to this Lakers team. Like, yes, there's still flaws on the roster, but 50-32, kind of that 4 seed range is where I see them. For this year, I think a lot of the games that they're just going to be able to win because JJ will be, this is no disrespect to a lot of the coaches that are already in the NBA, but I think JJ is, and it's not just JJ, because yes, he's a young first-time coach in the NBA, but the guys he's got on the bench with him in his ear, helping him with this, along with his own, brain for basketball IQ, playing in the league, XYZ, I think that's why I see them towards the middle to top half of that Western Conference. In 5th, I got the Kings. Obviously, adding DeMar DeRozan this offseason, I think they'll get back to middle of the pack here in the Western Conference, towards the top half of the middle. The 6th, I got the Denver Nuggets, 48-34. I think they'll take a little dip this year. I added Russell Westbrook in the offseason to try to offset losing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Reggie Jackson, but I don't think that's enough. Those are huge, huge losses, so they'll need some more guys to step up. They can. They obviously have multiple-time MVP Nikola Jokic, but I think they'll take a little step back this year. In 7th place, I got the Suns, 47-35. Obviously, you have KD, Book, Beal, but I really like the ball handlers that they added this offseason. Letting Book, KD, and Beal play more off the ball, create some more action off the ball, not having to stress so much with the ball in their hands. Not that they are obviously very capable of doing and creating with the ball in their hands, but just taking some of that stress off them, not having to 24/7 have the ball in their hands, creating, being able to run off screens from each other, different type of action. I think the Suns are going to have a good year. And in 8th place, I got the Pelicans, 47-35. Be curious to see if they keep that team together. Obviously, it's been rumored about, trading Brandon Ingram for years now. We'll see if they actually do it. The Timberwolves is probably the biggest surprise so far on here at 45-37. I don't get the Karl-Anthony Towns trade. If you were trading one of the big men, I don't know why it wouldn't be Rudy Gobert. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Rudy Gobert hater. I just think that Karl-Anthony Towns is one of the top 3 to 4 bigs in the league. If not, maybe even a little bit higher than that. So I don't understand why you move on for him when you don't bring in. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Julius Randle. I think he can, kind of fit in and is a good 4 in this league. Love Dante DiVincenzo too, but I think the Karl-Anthony Towns move was a little too much. So I think they'll take quite a bit of step back this year. But Anthony Edwards is still going to be Anthony Edwards. So, I mean, he can very well take this team from a 9th seed up to, that 5 range as well. Who knows? He's a superstar in this league. In 10th, I got the Grizzlies, 45-37. 11th, the Rockets, 42-40. The Spurs with Chris Paul coming in, 34-38. The Jazz, 33-49. Obviously not trading Lauri Markkanen this offseason. Re-signing him, they're going to be trying to win, but I still think they're a ways away there. Then the Los Angeles Clippers, at 14, 31-51, we just got the news about Kawhi Leonard being out. Don't know how long. You hope a speedy recovery, gets back. But, I mean, if you don't have him in the picture right now, I think this is where this looks. If you just have James Harden, Ivica Zubac, and, they have a couple nice pieces, but losing Paul George this offseason and not bringing in another star when you have a couple stars that, unfortunately, because of injuries, XYZ, have struggled to stay on the floor, I think it's going to be a not a good year for the Clippers. And they have a new arena, but not good on the court this year. Trailblazers still rebuilding, 23-59. I'm curious what they do if they trade Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams. Any of those, let the young guys kind of get some spin. I don't think they expect to be close to the playoffs this year, so I'm curious what happens there. Let's move over to the Eastern Conference. First play, unfortunately, I got the Celtics, 63-19. think they're going to have another good regular season. I mean, they're incredibly deep. Probably the deepest team for sure in the Eastern Conference, but probably in the league. Second, the Knicks, 57-25. Bringing in Karl Anthony Towns is huge. I just worry about, but, Tibbs does like to play all of his starters. Obviously, that's kind of the theme of Tibbs, running his starters into the ground, 42, 44 plus minutes a game. But I worry about their depth, obviously getting rid of Dante DiVincenzo. And, so I don't think they're as deep as some of these other teams, especially like the Celtics and stuff they'll play. So I'm curious, but I think their, top 5, 6 is as good as any in the league. In third, I got the 76ers, 54-28. Obviously, you hope that, Joel Embiid, Paul George, who got a little banged up already this preseason, you hope those guys can stay healthy, Tyrese Maxey. If they do stay healthy, I think, they can be a top 3, 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. In fourth, the Indiana Pacers, 52-30, coming off that Eastern Conference Finals last year. Fifth, got the Cleveland Cavaliers, 51-31. Sixth, Orlando Magic, 49-33. In seventh, the Milwaukee Bucks, 48-34. This would definitely be underachieving for the Bucks, but I'm just curious. I'm not sold on it. Maybe does this mean Giannis is on the move? Who knows? He even said it himself. If we don't win a championship, I could be traded. That's the fact of the matter. I don't know about that unless he asks out, but I guess we'll see. In eighth, the Miami Heat seems like where they've been floating the last couple of years, 43-39. In ninth, the Atlanta Hawks, 38-44. 10th, got the Bulls, 34-48. You hope Lonzo Ball, we saw him play. So happy to see him back on the court playing in the preseason. You hope that can turn over. If he does, if he can kind of get back to what we thought he could be coming into the league and what we've seen flashes of right before he got injured, about 2 years ago now at this point, then I think the Bulls could have possibly a little bit better record than this. But as we sit right now, obviously there's always rumors about Zach LaVine being traded. All this, we'll see. In 11th, I got the Raptors, 28-54. They even all basically said themselves, from the GM down to the players, basically said they weren't trying to win this year. Interesting strategy to just come out and say that before your 82-game regular season starts. But yeah, I got them at 28-54. A lot of really good young pieces there, but I think it will take some time to rebuild. I don't picture them competing for anything in the East this year. If things go well with those young pieces developing, they could possibly compete for a play-in, but anything further than that, I kind of doubt it this year. In 12th, I got the Charlotte Hornets, 27-55. In 13th, got the Detroit Pistons, 26-56. 14th, the Washington Wizards, 19-63. And the Brooklyn Nets, which if and when they probably do trade Cameron Johnson, this record might even be a little bit too high. I got them at 15-67. I think it's going to be a bad year in Brooklyn. But at least Barclays Center did just see an WNBA champion crown in the New York Liberty. Amazing. So happy for them. So happy for Sabrina. But off topic, but yeah, I think it's going to be a bad year of basketball in Brooklyn this year for the Nets. That's where we have it. So moving into the playoffs, we're going to start with the play-in. We got it here up on the screen. Got the Suns versus the Pelicans. I got the Suns winning that one. Timberwolves versus Grizzlies. Timberwolves. Then in the Eastern Conference, Bucks versus Heat. Got the Bucks moving on. Hawks versus Bulls. I got the Hawks. So then that sets up in the Western Conference, Pelicans versus Timberwolves. Got the Timberwolves moving on. And then Heat versus Hawks in the East. I got the Heat moving on. Then moving into the first round, Thunder versus Timberwolves, 1 versus 8. I got the Thunder winning that one. Mavericks versus Suns. I got the Suns upsetting the Dallas Mavericks in the 2 versus 7 matchup. 3 versus 6, Warriors Nuggets rematch from 2022 first round series. I got the Warriors winning that one as the 3 seed. Then 4-5, Lakers Kings. I got the Lakers winning that one. That would be a really, really tight 6-7 game series in my opinion. In the Eastern Conference, I got the Celtics beating the Heat in the 1 versus 8 matchup. I got the Knicks over the Bucks in the 2 versus 7. 76ers beating the Magic in that 3 versus 6. And then the 4-5 matchup, I got the Indiana Pacers losing to the 5th seed Cleveland Cavaliers. And moving forward to the Western Conference semifinals, I got the Thunder versus the Lakers. I got the Thunder winning that one. Then I have the Warriors versus the Suns. Warriors versus KD. Incredible stories all the way around. I got the Warriors winning that one. Eastern Conference semifinals, I got the Celtics versus the Cavaliers. Celtics in that one. Then Knicks versus 76ers. Knicks in that one. Setting up a Thunder Warriors Western Conference Finals, which obviously we saw in 2016. This was obviously the series where Golden State was down 3-1, came back, and then Kevin Durant came in the offseason. We're not going to talk about the finals in that year. I have the Thunder losing to the 3-seeded Warriors. Warriors heading back to the NBA Finals. Eastern Conference Finals, Celtics versus Knicks. Incredible throwback series. I got the Celtics winning this one, probably in 6. I should say the Warriors Thunder, I think that's probably a 6-7 game series as well. Jumping forward to the finals, I got Warriors versus Celtics. Rematch of the 2022 NBA Finals. Will Steph and the Warriors get ring number 5, or will the Celtics get revenge from 2022 and go back-to-back? I got the Warriors winning the NBA championship this year. Before you say, like, oh, you're just a Homer Warrior fan, we kind of already talked about this a little bit earlier. It's the substance. It's the vets that they added, mixed with the young guys, the young 4 that I talked about, making that jump. The vets helping. Steph Curry being Steph Curry, Draymond Green being Draymond Green. You know, all the guys, all the rotation. As Steve Kerr said, this team is, really 12 deep. Trying to get that 9-10 man playing rotation is going to be very tough. So, especially beginning of the season, throughout the season, and in the playoffs. But, really throughout the season. So, I'm interested to see how Steve Kerr and the Warriors navigate it. But I think they're a really deep team this year. And I think the substance that we've seen so far is real. For the Warriors, they've been close. They've been close. Obviously, some factors over the last couple years. But I'm buying what we've seen so far. The ball movement, the shooting, the rebounding, the running. This is Warriors basketball. Getting back to it. Super deep, just like how this run started, about a decade ago. So that's what I got right now for the 2024-2025 NBA season. Again, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any NBA content throughout the season on the channel. But that'll do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.